extremely dangerous Category 4 Hurricane Melissa is headed for Jamaica. Good evening, I'm Mike Naso with this Sunday night update here at about 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Look at this very well-defined Category 4 hurricane. A perfect circle there with a very well-defined eye. It's been moving west. It kind of bumped a little south of west. However, the forecast does have it making a turn and then making landfall directly over the island of Jamaica as an extremely powerful Category 4 or 5 hurricane by Tuesday morning. This is a very serious storm. Here's the latest on Melissa as of 11 p.m. Eastern Time. It was at 16.3 north, 77.5 west, and the pressure's down to 933 millibars. That is a solid, powerful Category 4 hurricane. Winds 145 miles per hour. That's the high end of Category 4. Moving west at 5, but as I mentioned, it has kind of bumped south and made little wobbles. But in general, what we're thinking is that as the ridging erodes, it will get swept up to the northeast here, making landfall over Jamaica on Tuesday morning, and then making landfall in eastern Cuba Tuesday night or Wednesday morning, and then being over the Turks, Caicos, and the Bahamas by Wednesday night, still as a hurricane, a potent hurricane. Beyond that, Bermuda by Thursday, and then finally getting out of here by the end of the week. By Halloween, we won't have to deal with Melissa anymore, and it's really going to pack a punch in Jamaica. It's going to be bad. Here's the wind field, and again, we have hurricane warnings for Jamaica and eastern Cuba, as well as tropical storm warnings for areas of Haiti and Cuban coast. Again, the wind field, hurricane force winds. The hurricane winds are about 30 miles from the eye. Tropical storm force winds almost 200 miles, and they are now impacting Jamaica. So again, your preparation time is very limited, not only because the hurricane is going to be hitting you by Tuesday morning, but because the winds are going to get worse and worse before the hurricane even makes it there, to say nothing of the heavy rain as well. Here's the latest infrared satellite imagery of this tropical monster, and there's the well-defined eye. As I mentioned, if we look at where it's wobbled west, and then it kind of dipped a little south, but in general, a westward motion, very slow, but a complete little buzzsaw there. Again, I'm seeing some signs that maybe it's feeling the influence of either the trough that's going to weaken the ridging to the north, or perhaps a little bit of shear from the anticyclone that's a little bit to the south and west of its location. Nevertheless, that doesn't seem to be impacting the central dense overcast, the main buzzsaw of the hurricane, and we should see some fluctuation. So it could go up or down, but 145 miles per hour is a very extreme hurricane. The forecast does have it becoming a Category 5, and then making landfall is either a 4 or a 5 along the south coast of Jamaica. I'll show you exactly where the forecast has it in just a minute. Here's the upper level wind shear, and again, we have this very favorable anticyclone just to the southwest of it, and that's allowed it to strengthen as much as it has, but sometimes it can get undercut a little bit by this wind flow, and that's possible that that's happening. And also there is some mid-level shear here coming in from the east, but the Hurricane Center really didn't mention it in their 11 p.m. discussion. Their thinking is it's just internal fluctuations, and then boom, into Jamaica on Tuesday morning. There's the water vapor imagery, and what a monster. Look at that down there. And in Jamaica today, before it started raining, it was a very beautiful day. You had warm weather down there, and people were preparing, but until the rain started, you'd have no idea that such a monster was headed your way. But she is, and she's going to be a very memorable hurricane. We've never had a Category 4 hurricane hit Jamaica directly. Charlie, 1951, cut across as a 3. Gilbert, 1988, cut across as a 3. We had one clip the extreme western part in 1902 or 1903, but we've never had a direct slamming from a Category 4 or 5 like we are forecasting now with Hurricane Melissa. Here's Brian McNulty's radar page. Let's take a look at the radar image. It's a little prehistoric looking. It's Jamaican radar, but look at that. The rainfall is starting here, and that's only going to get worse. Very high rain totals. Look where the eye is. In fact, let me zoom in here. Watch the eye progression here, and I'm going to follow it with my pen, and then it kind of starts to almost bend due west at the end. It dipped a little southwest. These little wobbles matter very much when you're dealing with islands, but overall the problem is this heavy rainfall that's going to start and persist 20, 30, 40 inches of rain over some areas there of Jamaica, a very significant flood threat. Notice here too this moat around the eye. Notice the eye wall and then we have a moat in between. That is a possibility that we have a secondary eye wall form and it goes through what we call an eye wall replacement cycle where the inner eye collapses and a bigger eye takes shape. Now, normally it doesn't strengthen much during that. Maybe it even weakens a bit, but that might not be good news because then spatially the hurricane expands in size. So all around, I just don't see any way that Jamaica avoids being hit by a very violent Category 4 or 5 hurricane. Here's the official prog as of 11 p.m. Eastern Time Sunday night from the Hurricane Center, and I'm going to show you it has it becoming a Category 5 hurricane sometime on Monday, beginning that turn Monday night, and then the official landfall is sometime at 8 a.m. Tuesday morning as a Category 5 hurricane. They're forecasting a landfall as a 5 right here along the south coast of Jamaica, areas like Crane Corner, Black River, Crawford, Cambridge, all of these communities may be directly impacted, and then it cuts right across the entire island nation of Jamaica, and then eventually makes landfall very close to Guantanamo in areas here of Santiago de Cuba and eastern Cuba, and that would be sometime, let's see, this is probably Tuesday night, yeah, 8 p.m. Tuesday to 8 a.m. Wednesday, so sometime overnight Tuesday into Wednesday, a major hurricane landfall in Cuba. So remember, it's not just about Jamaica, this is going to slam Cuba and then the Bahamas after that. So the key messages, we got a lot to cover here. Number one, Jamaica, seek shelter now. The damaging winds, the heavy rainfall tonight and tomorrow, Monday, will cause catastrophic, life-threatening flash flooding, numerous landslides before the potentially devastating winds arrive Monday night and Tuesday. A Category 4 or 5 hurricane, especially in a place with more poor quality infrastructure in a lot of areas, extensive infrastructure damage, long-duration power and communication outages, isolated communities, life-threatening storm surge, damaging waves throughout the southern coast of Jamaica Monday night and into Tuesday morning. Just a really, really bad situation for Jamaica. Number two, Haiti and the Dominican. More flash flooding and rain and landslides are expected in southwest Haiti and southern portions of the Dominican Republic through midweek. And again, extensive infrastructure damage in Haiti. You're dealing with really impoverished third world nations down there. That's likely to increase again on western Haiti on Tuesday because remember the hurricane is going to hook to the right, so it could approach. Eastern Cuba, life-threatening storm surge on the south coast of eastern Cuba. That'll be late Tuesday and Tuesday night. Damaging winds, heavy rainfall, life-threatening, potentially catastrophic flash flooding and landslides beginning Monday. Preparations should be rushed to completion. Remember, this is maybe not going to be a Category 4 in Cuba, but it could still be a Category 3. That's a major hurricane, a very dangerous hurricane. And finally, for the southeast Bahamas and Turks and Caicos, monitor Melissa closely. There is an increasing risk of a significant storm surge, damaging wind, and heavy rainfall threat Tuesday and Wednesday. Watches are probably going to be needed early tomorrow. Hurricane watches out for those areas. It should still be a hurricane as it rips through those areas. It'll be accelerating, so the rainfall might not be as prolific as down here. Again, we're looking at rainfall totals over 40 inches in some parts of Jamaica, especially on the eastern end of the island. There's all the information for those down in the Caribbean who speak Spanish. Oh, what a beast. Look at that. A very, very dangerous, powerful Category 4 hurricane. Hurricane Melissa, a late-season hurricane, a violent hurricane. And even though it's over open water right now, all preparations to protect life and property need to be rushed to completion very, very quickly in Jamaica. It looks like you are going to get a direct hit from a violent major hurricane, perhaps the strongest hurricane on record since 1851 to hit the island. I'm Mike Naso. I'll be back with frequent updates on Melissa.